Okay, this is a quick video on how to kind of coach your athletes through the mammalian diving response or reflex per se. This is something I've used for a number of years now, and it's actually being placed in the Triphasic recovery manual. So you can click on that link if you can find this particular downloadable sheet. And then before you do that, I highly recommend getting the manual so then you can perform this individualized vestibular activation reset assessment. And then what you'll do is you'll be able to prescribe this activation methods. There'll be two exercises that individualize it for your athlete, and it'll greater help with this mammalian dive response. Now, let's talk about this mammalian dive response. So what we have here is an athlete, and they're using this method, and let me see if I can pause it. So what you have here is you're trying to mimic the body drowning. So what we've done is we've put the athlete warm water in the athlete's mouth, and then the athlete puts their legs up on the wall so that it's pressed up against there. And then what can transpire is it produces a little bit more pressure in the midsection of the body where the spleen is. So with more pressure on the spleen and warm water in the mouth, you're simulating like you're underwater, you're deep under the water. And then the water would be cold on your face. So then the water being cold on your face, we take ice bags from the training room and put them on your face. And there's a number of ways you can do this. I just got the best response by doing this. And then what you're doing is you're holding your breath as long as you can. Usually after an event that's a little short, but you're trying to mimic this as much as possible. Sometimes a few belly breaths before will help you get in the state that you can hold that breath longer. But then what will happen is my athletes will hold as long as they could. Some, when they're done, they can't hold it anymore. They spit the water out in the air, which is fine. This can be a highly effective method in getting your body to respond to get to that recovered state, that parasympathetic state. And when I say that, I've tracked this on heart rate variability devices. And what I've gotten was a huge parasympathetic response, a huge recovery response from this method. Now, do not do this the first time, like the night before a game, because I have seen it cause a parasympathetic shift so that your body might even become a little lethargic the next day. Now, I could obviously recommend caffeine at that point to play the game if that's the case. But again, don't use this method the very first time that you might have to compete the next day or something along those guidelines. I actually really like the method and save it for basically after a game. Let's say you're at a national championship, you have a game on Friday, and then you do this Friday night. You'll have a day Saturday to recover, and then go on Sunday. And especially if I have kids that haven't done it in a while, I'll let them do a Friday night and then recover Saturday and then play another game on Sunday. So, but again, I would, this isn't something that's a go-to all the time. I would recommend probably once a month when you really need it, especially maybe after a high volume week of training, and then you do it at the end of the week on a Friday or a Saturday. And you're going to get some good quality rest in. This will help activate the parasympathetic system. And basically what will happen, what you're trying to do is get a release of oxygenated blood out of the spine, or the spleen, I should say, out of the spleen. And then what transpires is that'll aid in a parasympathetic shift and recovery. And then also, I would honestly recommend a nice light walk post 20 minutes has been shown for me to be a very, very effective recovery combination of methods. So there you have it, the mammalian dive reflex response, whatever you want to call it. I've used this for probably 7 years, I believe. I put this together, so this is what we do. And again, I appreciate your time listening.